Hey guys, this is Lovin Meets with the Dubai lifesaving team that just ranked in the world's top 10. This is an amazing Dubai story of a wasn't but became a team who came together in the last year and happened to compete against the best in the world.
We'd really love it if you can subscribe to the Lovin Meets podcast wherever you get your podcast from. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, joined today by members of the Pirates team. We've got head coach Fernando Mateo and Oliver Bergman, captain for the team, who just ranked in the top 10 at the Lifesaving World Championships in Australia, competing against Olympians, battling brutal sea conditions. They're here to tell us all about it. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for the invite. We are very proud of being in your studios.
Well, I'm happy to have you. Massive congratulations. Big win. Unexpected maybe. So how does it feel to have ranked in the top 10?
Well, when we came in, we saw a quote from Cesar Augustus on the wall of the studio saying, I came to Rome and it was a city of bricks and I turned it into a city of marble. I guess that with the advice of our senior team members like Oli and others, we're able to build something from nowhere. And that is so fulfilling. It's very, very difficult to express how we're feeling at this point in time.
Well, tell me about building something from nowhere. Oliver, captain of the team, when did you start? When did you join? And what was the team like when you took the captainship?
I think it was about a year ago, Candy came to me and she spoke about the opportunity of representing the UAE on the world stage. When she mentioned that, we had to take it up. I mean, this has been a dream of ours forever. When we started training, we thought, we're going to do our best and we just want to rub shoulders with the best in the world and just try to stand our own. But being able to perform on the highest stage and win events, that was not expected. We couldn't do that without the unbelievable coaches and our support.
What's needed to get to this level? Is life-saving every day after school? Is it weekends? What do you need to get to the team to peak condition?
We run our program with our kids Mondays through Sundays. And there we are setting the roots for people to become the Olivers of this world and to become members of, hopefully, the next world champ taking place in 2 years. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of focus. It takes a lot of funding. This is kind of the tricky part always when you get into this kind of adventure, financial resources. But beyond anything else, what you need is a big heart. A big heart, good legs, good lungs, and the spirit to go against adversity. Because when we showed up in Australia and our team saw those waves, those water conditions, we never get to see that in Dubai. Never. I mean, Oliver, coming from South Africa, obviously he's seen it on a daily basis when he was in his childhood and in his years starting there in life-saving. But for the rest of the kids, it was unseen before. I mean, when you get to see those waves and you get to see those rip currents, etc., it's very tricky.
We do have a very flat seascape here in Dubai.
Absolutely.
But tell me, Oliver, what is training like for you? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I can imagine, for some reason, I know what training for tennis looks like, I know what training for football looks like, I don't know what training for life-saving looks like.
Right, life-saving comprises of two different disciplines. Everyone knows the Baywatch side of things, which is the lifeguarding that's patrolling the beaches. But the other side that not many people know about is the competition side. Mm-hmm. The competition is broken up into land events, water events, and then events that comprise of both disciplines together. So the training comprised of a lot of land-based training, which is sprints, it's longer runs. And then in the water, we use craft and we are swimming. The days obviously changed. One day we'd be training on the land, the other day we'd be training on the water. So a strict program with alternating between the two disciplines.
And it's a combination of several things at the same time. It's not just the different scenarios, water and land, but it is the abilities that you need to have in order to be able to perform at the right level in both. There are countries, for example, we faced fierce competition from Egypt on the land side. But on the water, they had nothing. We feared some serious competition from the Indian team on the land, but again, on the water, they had nothing. One of the beauties precisely of our team is that we were able, although it was a very small team in comparison to the other teams, we were able to field a group of athletes who were able to perform both on and off the sun.
You mentioned earlier lung capacity. How do you train your lung capacity to compete in world life-saving competitions?
Oli, that's your question.
This is something that it doesn't happen just overnight. It is something that progressively you get better with your swimming, with regards to wiping out, with regards to staying calm. That is ultimately the most important thing in these situations. Back to what Fernando said, at the end of the day, we went and we took one of the smallest teams, but probably the most diverse. We had people from 4 different countries, be it Brazil, United States, England, Wales, I should say 5 actually, and South Africa. Yeah. But together, everyone brings a different aspect to the table, and it all just clicks when we come together.
And Oliver has mentioned something very important, which is don't rush things. This is not a process that can happen from one day to the other. This is something that starts on the base. This is something that starts with our kids at our Kite Beach location. It's very difficult to build an athlete from scratch. They need to have something special, and that's what we saw in the team that we took. I mean, we saw obviously the experience of people like Oliver. We saw that raw talent in the youth that we took with us, and at the end it was a great combination. It was watching them perform at the level they did. It really made us feel proud. Wearing the UA flag on our shirts and representing our country in such an event meant a lot to us.
It's amazing.
We actually, in many ways, we made history. In a sport that is completely unheard of in the region, although there's a long tradition, for example, in Egypt, to show up in our first international event and finish how we finished, it goes for the team.
You know,
Thanks.
No, it is amazing. And the thing is, like, we see the medals, like, we see the end. We don't see
the process, the journey,
the determination that it takes to get there.
It's a journey. It's
Right.
a journey. It's a journey that started when we got together and we said, let's do it. And once we said, let's do it, there's no way back. Okay? We got to that point of no return. And we got to that point of no return very, very soon. As I've said before, it requires not just having the team, but having the resources. It was a fight. At the end, I mean, unfortunately, we didn't get that much support, so Pirates itself took a lot of the cost under our wing, and we are more than happy to do so because we're promoting what needs to be promoted, which is a healthy youth, a sportive youth, and a focus for youth. And if there's a sport that gives phenomenal amount of focuses to our youth, it's life-saving. Because there is also a social benefit into it, which these kids know how to save lives.
So going forward, if you're looking for the World Championships you mentioned in 2 years' time, you'll hopefully look for more community support?
Absolutely. We need it. We need it. If not, it's going to be very difficult to replicate or to emulate what we did down in Australia. We definitely need, and from here I make a call, whoever is interested in touching base with us to see what they can do for the future of this team, more than welcome.
Well, more conversation is what makes that happen. But you mentioned you saw a strong team, and that's why you put the team together. When the team arrived in Australia, and we've kind of touched on the difficult conditions, what was the mindset when you took off on your first, I guess, like C part of it? Like, how did you kind of rally the team to be like, it's not what we're used to, but we're going to do it?
I mean, the boys just have so much grit and determination. It was never a case of, oh no, this is what we've got, it's what we're going to work with. And I think where we might lack skills in one department, we have that determination in the other. And fortunately, we arrived 5 days earlier than the event, so we were able to accustom ourselves to the waves and obviously hone in on the boards and the craft that we were using in the events.
It was pure talent because, I mean, the truth needs to be told. We had never used those competition boards in our life for some of those events. It was the first time that our kids had access to those boards.
Why so?
Very difficult to access them. Obviously, the water conditions here don't merit getting those boards. You have to go and train elsewhere. But still, they were able to perform, and still they were able to enjoy like crazy. It was very interesting because the first day they had access to those boards, Oli can tell you more in depth what the experience was.
Yeah, a bit of carnage.
Yes, pretty much. But again, it's part of life. We are human beings that need to adjust, to adapt to whatever life brings on us, and these guys really showed a phenomenal capacity to adapt to the circumstances.
True. I love how, Oliver, you said great determination, and then, you know, your coach says pure talent, because it's a replication of what happened. What are your thoughts on lifesaving as a sport in the UAE? I'll be honest, I don't know much about it. I'm glad we're having this conversation. What can be done to propel it, to get more funding, to get more people involved?
I believe, and I will let Oli talk more in depth about it, but I believe that people out there need to understand that there's a social benefit to developing our sports, which is we are creating not just athletes, but people who have got the ability to save lives. That's the reason why sport is called life-saving. If an accident happens on the beach and the lifeguards on duty are there, it's always good to know that there is a bunch of kids and there's a bunch of adults that can also support in those needs. At the same time, the benefits is a multi-experience sport in the sense that you've got a land portion to it and you've got a water portion to it. So it's not just you are creating unidimensional athletes, you are creating multidimensional athletes, which is great because that set of skills that they develop in their journey along this sport are going to help them in anything they do in life. Discipline, character, calmness versus adversity, capacity to adapt and to adjust. I discovered myself, and I am being truly honest, I discovered this sport quite recently myself. I come from the racket world sports. So imagine the transition. And I find so many nice things about the sport that it hooks you into it.
Interesting.
Yeah, and if I can add to that, not only is it a club or a community, but it's a family at the end of the day. And having those brothers that I now have, it's something truly spectacular.
Have you been lifesaving on the beach during Dubai summer?
I have not. I have not been lifeguarding, but rather training for the lifesaving specific events.
We've actually collaborated many times for many years with Dubai municipality in basically creating specific training for their lifeguards. And it was always a phenomenal experience working side by side with those guys that spend so many hours on the beach taking care of our lives there. So all these guys are obviously certified lifesavers by one of the most prestigious institutions, which is the South African Lifesaving Board. And that's one of the things that we obviously promote at Pirates, which is every single kid that goes through our ranks, at the end when they come out, they are licensed to become lifeguards.
Amazing. Before you leave us, what's next, Oliver, for you specifically? Are you going to stay with the team? Does the team go on to the World Championships or what happens?
100%. We've come too far now to let it fuzzle out. The next goal would be in 2 years' time once again at the World Champs. And ultimately, there is news of lifesaving an event in the Olympics in 2032, Brisbane.
Whoa!
So
we are becoming an Olympic sport. And more important to that is the fact that now we've got a target that we face, which is 2026. Either Morocco or Abu Dhabi are the venues. They still have to decide. Might be one of the portions is done in Abu Dhabi, might be the others done in Morocco, we'll see. But now it won't be our first time. Now we are ready. Now we know the little things that we need to know before showing up. And away from that is now we are creating that spirit that we need to look forward to 2026.
So much. Thank you so much, Fernando and Oliver, for building the community spirit down at Pirates. And if anyone watching today is interested and they want to find you, how can they get in touch for more questions?
Instagram, definitely. And if they want to see us live, come to Kite Beach. I mean, you will get to see how we are actually preparing the new generations to participate in this lovely sport. And thanks to a very special woman, Candy Fanucci, who created Pirates 15 years ago. Actually, this is a very special year for us because it's our 15th anniversary.
Amazing. Congratulations. And thank you to Candy, because I was in touch with her to set up this interview. So great. That brings us to the end of our show. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on this Friday morning. Have a great day.
Thanks for your
Thank
time.
you so
And again,
much.
thanks for your invitation. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Of course. Guys, that brings us to the end of our show. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Nope. Monday morning, same time, same place. Bye-bye.